okay, fair enough. He's got a trophy. Now get out. You know what I mean? You're not good enough.
Mm,
And
yeah,
for me, Ineos have already made their decision, and I said this time ago. Ineos made their decision ages ago because as a new regime, you don't come in and keep the old manager who's been failing, and
yeah,
especially as well where he's falling out with multiple players. How you can fall out with Varane and Casemiro is is embarrassing. These two players are never falling out with any other manager, but this guy. This guy fell out with
exactly.
Ronaldo. You know what I mean? He fell out with Ronaldo, and at the time, Ronaldo was. At the time, I was thinking, do you know what? Ronaldo needs to go. But in hindsight, now you think, you know what? Ronaldo actually was onto something. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah. So
Like I
that's my
think,
take on him, man. Yeah. But
yeah, I think as well with touching on the Ronaldo situation, I think,
mm,
yeah, the interview was delivered poorly at the
yeah.
wrong time and went to the wrong person to do the interview. But
Mm,
as the season went on, you gradually started to realize, yeah, Ronaldo was right. And what game was it? Was it the FA Cup semi-final against no quarter-final
what way
against
got what
Liverpool?
where he stormed out? Or
No, when it was raining and you saw the stadium flooded, that's when I really was like, you know what?
mm.
I take back every negative thing I said about Ronaldo because he was
Oh,
right.
okay, yeah, yeah.
Because yeah, we're spending all this money on these players, which is fair enough because
Mm,
we need to, but at the
mm,
same time, we're not fixing our home. Like
yeah.
this is the theatre of the dreams. This is like
Mm,
supposed to be the best stadium in England. Well, now that you got Tottenham's and you got the
yeah.
Etihad, but
Mm,
it's still supposed to be the top tier stadium. It's Luton have a stadium built into people's back gardens, and their stadium is holding up better in the rain and in the
mm,
snow than ours.
mm,
Like it makes no sense how we've lost sight of what's important.
yeah.
Like we don't care about the football, we care about the marketing. And I don't know how you feel about the Greenwood situation, but
Mm.
I feel like that
Hey,
decision is also based on marketing. That's not based on a
yeah,
football aspect. Because you're seeing how a man's doing on loan. He's smashing it. He's getting rave reviews from Griezmann, from Barcelona.
yeah,
Do you really want to risk letting that go? Fair enough, it's gonna
yeah.
come with some backlash. But I've said
Mm,
this a million times and I'll keep saying this. Football fans are fickle.
mm,
Greenwood comes on, let's paint the picture. Greenwood comes on, 70th minute, we're losing 2-0 to Liverpool. Bangs in one goal, bangs in a worldie of a second goal. Maybe gets a penalty, scores the penalty, hat trick. Every Man United fan is gonna be like, that's our boy. Because
mm,
football fans are fickle. All you need to do is put in good performances and football fans will change their mind.
yeah.
It's natural. It's just how football fans
Mm,
are. And I think, yeah, we need to go back to the ways of like making football a priority instead of because I don't care how much shirts we sell in Asia. I don't care how many shirts we sell in America. Like,
mm,
yeah, it's important to a certain extent, but the football's what's important. And if the
mm.
football's suffering, the training ground suffering, you're not going to get anything good from it. And look at our medical staff. How is it possible that we've had that many injuries throughout the whole season? A player comes back for one game, gets injured again. That don't make no sense.
Mm.
And you're
Bro,
signing
no,
off on it?
to be honest with you, man, I'll make you right. I mean, just quickly on the Greenwood thing, I mean, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a touchy subject for many people, but this, as you said, this is Manchester United, and Man United are at a stage now where they just need the best players available to be playing. So
Yeah,
for me, Greenwood comes back straight away. Like it's not even a debate. Just bring him back. Obviously, Ineos are going to think of the backlash in terms of how their brand is seen in a sense.
yeah,
But let's be honest with you, they need to just forget about all that and risk the backlash and bring Greenwood back because
yeah,
Man United are at a stage now where they can't afford to be um, dithering or selecting players based on other things. And the day, Greenwood's a top player, a top talent. Yeah, he's made mistakes in his life, um, but the court have obviously decided what they thought was the truth in their eyes,
yeah.
and Ineos needs to just think, you know what, this is a guy that has that has a huge value as well. You know, he's not being linked with like the likes of, no disrespect, like the Lutons and these kind of teams. He's
Yeah,
being
yeah,
linked with some of the best teams in the world, i.e., Barcelona, Atletico Madrid. You know what I mean? So for me,
exactly.
Man United needs to just go and bring him back and just keep it moving in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So, so yeah, man. But yeah, just going back to Ten Hag. Um, I think for as I said to you, for me, his fate has already been sealed. We have to just
Yeah.
wait until um Ineos confirm it. And I think what Ineos are doing, they are behind the scenes making sure everything's sorted out.
Mm.
And then they're just gonna just announce that this manager's been has been sacked. You know what I mean? But relive his duties, and
Yeah.
rightfully so. I mean, a lot of fans will be unhappy. So be it. You know what I mean? Um, he needs to go, and Man United need to go in a different direction, and also some of these players need to go as well. But yeah, I think the thing with me as well with Ten Hag, his team selection in terms of consistently playing Garnacho, consistently playing Rasmus, you know, Bruno Fernandes, never taken off, always plays.
Mm.
Rashford, obviously in poor form, gets given leeway. Um, and just I'm gonna touch on something as well with the whole Rashford thing. Yeah, the thing
Yeah.
with Rashford, yeah, Rashford has never been that player that a lot of these fans and these pundits in the media try to make him out to be. And that's not Rashford's fault. He's just capitalized on the hype that he's been given. You know, he's a local lad. You know, he's from Wivenshaw around the corner.
Mm.
Um, but what's happened, and I mentioned this on my channel the other day with one of my guys, Adam. Big up, Adam. Um, I mentioned it with him. What's happened now is that Rashford has become the scapegoat. But whereas other players were scapegoated for him. So, for instance, it was always Pogba and Martial that were scapegoated. Why? Although Rashford's a black guy as well, Pogba, Martial are both French. Yeah, Rashford's
True.
English, so they're gonna get onto the French guys rather than Rashford. Now
Yeah.
Pogba's gone, Martial's obviously gone as well. Even the likes of Fred, another black player, Brazilian. We're gonna scapegoat him. Eric Bailly, another guy, black guy from Ivory Coast. We're gonna scapegoat him. Yeah. And then when all four of them have gone now, it's Jadon Sancho. Even though Jadon Sancho is English as well, but Jadon
Mm.
Sancho is from London. And obviously they have a perception of Sancho as what you can see when he's not apologized in their eyes to Ten Hag.
Yeah.
So Sancho's on loan now. Yeah. So what's happened with Rashford is that Kobe Manu obviously he's come through the youth. He's protected. And obviously Kobe's a top player anyway. And Amad Diallo is relatively new to this as well. So what's happened now is that Rashford now has been given the big contract and he's now the fall guy because this fan base are trying their best to push through Garnacho. So
Mm.
Rashford now has become the scapegoat for Garnacho. You see how it's worked out
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
the other guys are now gone, and these dumb fans can't they can't blame anyone else now. So Rashford now is the scapegoat because they're trying to push through Garnacho, who by the way is terrible. You know what I mean? And this is another issue that Ten Hag has created because there's no way Garnacho should have started 30 plus games at Man United. You know what I mean? He's not even good enough to be at the club. You know? No, I'll be honest with you, bro. Like yeah, I've seen players like Giuseppe Rossi. Do you know who he is?
Bang. Of
Giuseppe Rossi?
course.
Giuseppe Rossi,
Baller.
Ravel Morrison, Paul Pogba, Angel Gomez, Greenwood. You know, I've seen some top players come through the youth. There's probably a few more that I've forgotten. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're meant to believe in Garnacho. Like it's embarrassing. Like Garnacho, yeah. he's arguably one of the worst players I've seen put on a Man United shirt. You know, I'll take Bebe ahead of him. And Bebe was terrible.
Bebe was
Bro, I'm being
shocking.
serious. He's
Bebe was
crap.
shocking.
Bebe was shocking, but these fans are fooled to thinking Garnacho is good. And they think Garnacho is good because Garnacho shows intent to run with the ball. That's all it is. Because Garnacho wants to get the ball and keep running all the time, fans don't know what they're watching. So they just think that he's doing a lot, but really, he ain't doing much. And
Yeah, he's
obviously
doing a
now
whole
he's
lot
going
of
to live on
nothing.
that overhead kick, which, to be honest with you, that's only going to be done once ever in your lifetime. Yeah. But he's going to be living off that. But
Mm.
if Man United want to go to the next level, yeah, players like that can't be starting, just like Højlund. They're not good enough. And too much of Man United now, I've noticed as well, has become, you know, and it's very sad, it's become a bit of a racial issue. And I'll tell you why I say that, yeah? Because obviously I'm on Twitter quite a lot, you know, and you see a lot of things on there. And some of these players, some of these fans, I believe they're just backing certain players because it's become a bit of a, you know, I'm backing this player because he's white, or and then in turn it'll be like I'm backing this player because he's black. It shouldn't be that. It should just be I'm
Yeah,
backing
it's
this
always
player
going to
because
be
he's
a vibe.
good.
Yeah, yeah,
It should be I'm backing this player because he's good. But I think a lot of it you can see it, and to be honest with you, I don't see many people talking about it like this. But a lot of it has become they're just backing these players because they're white, literally. Because no one can come and tell me that Garnacho and Højlund are the level. But then yet you want to try and hound out Martial. You want to hound out Pogba, hound out Sancho. Ahmad don't get no game time because of Garnacho. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
The
Of
whole
course,
thing's a
yeah.
joke. Fred was hounded out for McTominay. How? Eric Bailly was hounded out for Maguire. How? You know what I mean?
And that Rojo and Bailly partnership, that was solid. That was
Yeah,
solid. They
but
were both
that
battlers.
was only on borrowed time because these local fans don't want to see that. They don't. You know what? Why do you think they love Lisandro Martinez, who, by the way, is a top player? But why they love Lisandro Martinez? Because Lisandro Martinez is a passion merchant. He's a great footballer, yeah, but he's a
Mm.
passion merchant, and he's something that they can relate to. But Eric Bailly was a passion merchant. But why was Bailly handed out? Read between the
True. You
lines.
got
They'll say
yeah.
they'll
You got
say
a point.
injuries, yeah. They'll say injuries. Martinez getting injuries. Luke Shaw has had injuries ever since he come here. But why is it that these two players are given leeway and Eric Bailly was hounded out? You know what I mean? They're
Mm.
trying to hound out Casemiro now. All I'm saying is read between the lines because Man United has become a I said to you, it's become a bit of a racial problem going on there. And I've been aware of this for time. You know,
Yeah.
I've been saying this for time before I had a platform. There's something sinister going on within this fan base, local fan base, and the club as to why certain players are always given preferential treatment and the others ain't. Yeah. And I'm just hoping with Ineos now, Ineos just eradicate that nonsense and
Mm.
Man United can kind of move forward and get back to the top, you know. And this starts with Eric Ten Hag. Get rid of him, you know. Bruno can go with him as well because he's arguably the biggest problem at Man United. And yeah, I mean, obviously he wants a new contract now as well, which you can see why he does. But Ineos ain't going to give him that, and he needs to be moved on. Um, so yeah, that's my take on that, really, man. But yeah, I've thought like this for a little while because it's so blatantly obvious as to what's going on. But I wanna ask you. So, what do you think signings for next season? Who are you looking at?
Ooh, it's a tough one to be honest. Like I said, I want Sancho back. I want Greenwood back.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
100%. I really think that I feel like I know you don't rate him, but I feel like the type of striker that Rasmus is, I feel like he needs a Sancho next to him. I feel like
Mhm.
he's them two would be a good partnership together. Whether Rasmus can build on his goals that he got next season is a different story. But I feel like we've got a striker there now that it could work for Sancho. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Probably get a more attacking bit of left back. I'd still keep Shaw. Obviously, probably sit on a bench, but like for important games where you need someone that's got that little bit more. I'd keep Shaw for that because I do think Shaw's a good player, regardless of his injuries. I do think he's a good player. When he's fit and firing, he is a good player.
Yeah.
I'd like to have.
Don't you think there's better left backs out there than him?
You know what? Because I've been looking at the England squad and I've been looking at our left backs. It's hard to really call out left backs. Like I couldn't think of a left back off the top of my head, if I'm honest with you.
Well, the thing is, I understand what you mean, really, because left. I think what we need to understand is if we're looking at left backs that are gettable, then the pool is probably not as big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're looking at unrealistic targets, I mean, for me, I'd go and get Theo Hernandez from AC Milan. But then Theo Hernandez is going to be playing Champions League football next season. Yeah. And AC Milan are going to require a massive fee for them to part ways with him. So there is better left backs out there than Luke Shaw. Theo Hernandez is one of them. Yeah. I like Ryan Aït-Nouri from Wolves.
Oh, that's a good shot, to be fair.
He's a good left back. Then you've got what's his name? Milos Kerkez, they've been linked with from Bournemouth. You know? So there is players there, but it just depends on what Man United see or Ineos see as a priority position. And for me, with Luke Shaw, he's another one. He gets off scot-free, you know. All of a sudden now he's available for the Euros. This is a guy that's been out for virtually the whole season. Yeah?
Yeah.
And he's been there almost a decade. And it's like Martial gets hounded out, but this guy still survives. And you have to ask yourself why that is. Well, we know why that is. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, the problem is Luke Shaw. I mean, with Luke Shaw can play as cover for centre back, you know. But Luke Shaw still has 3 years left on his contract, so getting rid of him with his injury record and how much money he's on for a left back is going to be hard to do. So Man United have snookered themselves there, but yeah, I mean, me personally, I think Luke Shaw is a decent left back, but he's another one that's part of the problem because with Luke Shaw, he's the kind of player that he's an example of mediocrity, and that's what Man United have been dealing with for years. You know, players that are just there, just getting by. And for me, he needs to be moved on, but he's going to be a difficult one to move on purely because of what I just said. Yeah. But if Man United could get in, I mean, obviously Malacia's been out for the whole season, and it obviously have to see what happens with him next season. But if Man United could get a Theo Hernandez or a Ryan Aït-Nouri who's more realistic, then it will show Me United are trying to go in the right direction, you know. And yeah. But yeah, so you reckon bring Sancho and Greenwood back? That's what I would do.
Yeah, 100%.
Who else you looking at?
I'd like to see Zubimendi for Real Sociedad.
You like him?
I think he's good. I don't know if he's got the pace, but I think he might do a job. Okay. Yeremy Pino from.
Do you know what? That's a surprising
one. To be fair, we were linked with him, but when he got injured, I think it died down. So I've been looking at him a lot recently, and I'm thinking, he could do a bit. I mean, he's kind of got a bit of Jesus Navas to him, so he likes to run with the ball.
To be fair, them kind of players I don't really deal with, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. Neither do I, to be honest. Yeah. Neither do I. But I feel like he could do a job. I feel like he probably is ready for that kind of step up. I'm not convinced about the centre mid from Benfica. I don't really see.
Neves?
Yeah, I don't see what everyone sees in him. Like when I've seen him in games, like he loses the ball quite a lot. He's got a lot of tenacity. He's willing to battle, but he does lose the ball a fair bit. And I'm just like, I don't know, maybe he's still a bit too raw. I got a couple wild cards. I think I'd take Jacob Ramsey. I do like Jacob Ramsey. He always performs against us. Yeah, he always performs against us and it pisses me off. So I'm just like, I'm taking it back to the old school days when Fergie used to be like, you know what? This guy seems to have a problem
that plays well against me.
So we'll see how he does. I like Morgan Gibbs White. I think there's a lot of quality in there.
Mm.
I think he's got a lot of potential to